oh, I'm just gonna sit through this crash course, right? And I'm gonna learn everything I need to know on how to edit a video. But it doesn't work that way. Welcome back to my channel. It's 2020, everybody. And for those who do not know and are not familiar with my channel yet, hi everybody, my name is Kenneth. Welcome to my channel, KT Lifestyle. And I know 2020 is a brand new year for everybody. Everybody has their new Year's resolutions and all that stuff. But I know a lot of you guys are out there that are trying to start your own YouTube channel, and starting it off from the very bottom, trying to build it from zero is definitely really overwhelming for a lot of you guys. All right, so by the end of this video, I'm going to be telling you the 5 mindset mistakes that a lot of video editors come across in. So when you are starting off in 2020 and trying to build your channel, you know to avoid these mistakes and just really learn from them. And for those of you that don't know my story, I started video editing back in high school, and I did a lot of video editing, starting off with gameplay, doing montage editing and stuff like that, and then I eventually turned it into making vlogs. So I've had a lot of experience in kind of editing different types of videos, and these are kind of just all the mistakes that I've collected throughout my experiences, and I want to share them all with you so you don't have to go through them. All right, so for those of you that are just beginning, news alert: there is no such thing as a perfect video. It is unachievable. Everything that you make, everything you publish, there's always something that can be improved upon. Whether it's the basic like color grading, whether you can change the different angles and stuff like that. It doesn't matter how much time that you spend on editing that video, there is no way it's going to be perfect. There's always going to be someone that's going to be like, oh, you could probably change the color grading there, or like somebody's like, maybe you shouldn't have recorded that. I probably edit better than you, man, or something like that. There's always going to be haters, always going to be doubters. You just really want to focus on the supporters. Don't let the people that bring negativity to your editing style bring you down, but just understand that every single time that you make a new video and make a new edit, you're getting better. And do consider every single minute and every single hour that you use to perfect that already good enough video is taking away from the time that you could be using on editing that next video, you know? So first, really establish like a schedule for your video editing. So for example, if we're gonna do every week videos, just make sure that you're putting action towards making that video throughout the week, whether it's 30 minutes a day, an hour a day or so. But once you get to that deadline, no excuses, publish it during that deadline. And another reason this is so beneficial and just kind of like following a set schedule, following that deadline, is that you're adding a lot of pressure to yourself to finish a whole video within a whole week. But trust me, the very first video is going to be really crappy, second video is going to be still crappy, but it's going to be way better than your first video. And it's just an uphill climb from there. Every single video every week is going to be a lot better. Do not feel paralyzed in trying to perfect your video, because it's impossible to do it. If you are not satisfied for your video for the week, just don't sweat it. Sit down and then kind of just write down a piece of paper or a notepad of all the mistakes that you did in that video, so you know for the next video you're not going to make these mistakes again. The second mindset mistake that a lot of beginner video editors make is that they focus on the video only. This is something that I have been guilty of, especially when I used to make a lot of montages. I've been guilty of just stripping or deleting the audio file of the actual clips and then just putting a music track over those clips. All right, so I know it's easy to kind of just like strip away all the audio from all the clips and then just replace it with a straight up music track over it, but really understand that having the real audio really brings in a lot of emotional kind of effect. Like if you are trying to make somebody feel a certain emotion, and really think about what your video is supposed to make your audience feel. All right, so let me give you an example real quick about my last video when I uploaded my year 2019, which is basically a whole video montage of all the kind of experiences and travels I did in 2019. And I basically did a kind of like a travel montage thing where I had all my clips laid out, and it was a bunch of different clips from a lot of different events throughout the year. First, look into the original audio file clips and then really pick out the ones that give more value to the video. I kept a lot of like certain parts when my family was in roller coasters and they were screaming, like just having the audio, slight audio in the background, just lower it down a little bit in a way where the audience can still hear the sound effects, but it won't be too loud that it will disengage the audience from watching the entire video. And then not even that, you don't even have to just use the audio clips from the actual files, but then you could also think of sound design. So sound design I have touched on in a couple of my videos before, but sound design is basically just adding a bunch of different sound effects in order to kind of complement and like kind of enhance the storytelling and the feel of the videos. What I did was I added a few parts where there was a bird, right? And then I just added like a couple of bird sounds behind it, and it kind of just like sets the tone of kind of like where you are at that place and time in the video. So like small things like that, it really adds value to the video. So what I was trying to do for that video is kind of just give a kind of a lively, more enjoyable feel when you're watching the video. The third mindset mistake that a lot of beginner video editors tend to make is that they use all the transitions. When I first started, I started editing in iMovie, and iMovie has a bunch of cool transitions like the wave transition, or kind of just like the go through the thingy transitions and all that fun transitions that is cool to see. But the thing is, a lot of beginner video editors tend to get overexcited with these transitions, and you really don't want to do that. You don't want to kind of overwhelm your audience with all these different types of transitions. So I'll give you an example. When I first started, every single time I cut a video, it's a brand new transition. It's a really big distraction to your audience. And at the end of the day, it doesn't look as fluid as like kind of like a professional video, right? Professional videos have like really smooth transitions and really fluid videos, and just having different types of transitions that are kind of gimmicky, it just kind of looks like you made a video, cut it into pieces, and then put a new transition every cut. You really don't want to do that because it kind of disrupts everything. It disrupts the flow of the video, and especially as a beginner, you really want to focus on kind of just making your videos simple. Focus on the value that you are giving in your video rather than the production value you are putting into your video. Like, don't think about, oh, if I use this transition and this transition and this transition in one video, magically everybody's gonna think that I'm a super awesome editor. That's not how it works here. The simpler the better. Like whether it's crossfades, use crossfades throughout the video, or just simple like cuts. Simple cuts is fine. A lot of videos just use simple cuts and they're fine with that. As long as the actual stuff in the video actually matters, that's all that you really have to focus on. Alright, so if you're liking this video so far, don't forget to hit the like button, and then also comment down below right now and tell me what phase of video editing are you? Are you in the beginning phase? Are you in the intermediate phase? Are you a seasoned video editor? And just really tell me your story there. Let's go on to the next tips. So the fourth mindset mistake that a lot of beginner video editors tend to make is that they either think it's too easy or they think it's too hard. If you think video editing is too easy and you kind of set a schedule for yourself of uploading once a day, doing daily uploads on YouTube, but you've never edited before, and you import everything on your computer and you realize, oh my goodness, I have no idea how to edit a video. And that is a problem. So video editing is not something that you can do in 1 hour, not something that you could learn real quick. And you really have to put in the time and effort to kind of understand all the features in your video editing software in order to kind of get better and better. I've been editing for like 10 years now, and even to this day, videos take me a long time to do. There's a lot of stuff that goes into video editing. First, you have to film, right? And that's not even part of the editing. The filming process does take a lot of time, but a lot of the times you film a lot, and it takes time for you to look through all the footage, select the footage that you want to use, and then kind of like archive the footage that you don't want to use. And that in itself can take a lot depending on if you're making a travel video, right? When you're making a travel video, you're probably recording almost everything, and that's going to be hours of footage you have to go through before you could even start the editing process. So there's definitely a lot, and definitely don't underestimate how much work that you need to put into creating a video. And don't make extreme goals of like making one video a day unless you really understand how much work it takes in order for you to create a video. Like, a good goal would be to start making videos once a week. That's a lot of time to film and to edit, and at least have a decent video for your first video. And the other side of this coin, the other extreme, a lot of people also think video editing is too hard, and these type of people tend to remain stuck and paralyzed from even starting, from even like creating their first video. They think video editing is hard because there's so many things, there's so many features and so many things that go into video editing. And there's the filming aspect. Which camera can I use? How do you make transitions? How do you import videos? How do you add music and stuff like that? There's so many different things that you can do in a video editing software that a lot of people really just blows their mind how hard they think it is in their head. And yes, video editing is hard, but anything is hard, especially when you're starting from zero. Riding a bike is hard, but once you get it, right, then it's easy from then on. And another reason kind of why people think video editing is hard is because when people are beginners and they want to learn something new, they go onto YouTube, right? When they go onto YouTube, they search up how to edit a video, and this entire video shows step by step on the basics and the fundamentals of how to edit a video. And sometimes these videos can go up to 15 to even an hour long. If you're a beginner, you'd be thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna sit through this crash course, right? And I'm gonna learn everything I need to know on how to edit a video. But it doesn't work that way. There's an overload of information there, and there's not enough room for me to apply the things that I've learned throughout that video. It can be overwhelming, especially when you're just starting off. But the reason that you are thinking that it is hard is because of all the information that is out there. There are so many different ways to edit your video. Like what I said earlier, like I used to edit gaming videos, I used to edit vlogs, I still edit vlogs, and I'm sure there's so many other types of videos out there that you are kind of like overwhelmed on all the different types of styles that people edit their videos too. But you really have to get away from that mindset of kind of just being overwhelmed of all the information out there, and just really focus on the first few things that you need to know right now. What do you need to know? You need to know how to film a video. You need to know how to import those clips onto your software. You need to know how to cut your videos. You're gonna need to know how to add music. That's it. That's all you really need to know when you're making your first video. Once you've done those 4 things, publish your video for that week. And don't stress on perfecting your video, because the next week, you're gonna know how to do all these 4 things. And you're gonna know how to do them faster because you already know how to do them from the previous week. But the difference is the next week, you're gonna do these 4 things faster. Plus, you get to add on 1 more thing or 2 more things to your arsenal. You could have these 4 things, and then you could know how to add sound effects, or you could know how to kind of change color correction. Well, I mean, actually, color correction is something that takes a lot longer time to learn. I still haven't learned how to do color correction correctly, you know, but really understand that it takes baby steps to get to your goal. Especially when you're starting out from zero, baby steps is the key. Learn the fundamentals first and build onto that every single week. And that's how you get better. That's how you get progress, especially with video editing. The 5th mindset mistake that beginner video editors make is that they are always stuck on the software. A lot of people reach out to me, or a lot of people that I've seen on Twitter that are tweeting about like, I want to make a YouTube channel, but I don't know how to edit. And then I ask them, what do you mean? What are you stuck on when you're trying to edit a video? I don't know which software to use. Which is the best video editing software? Do I use Adobe Premiere Pro? Do I use iMovie? Do I use something on my phone? Like, there's so many different video editing softwares out there. You could start off, if you have a MacBook, you could start off with iMovie. That's what I started off with, and it works fine. For basic edits that you need, you have a bunch of features there, and like what I said before, focus on the value you are giving into your video rather than the production value. iMovie is perfect if you're starting off trying to figure out how to cut. If you're just starting off trying to figure out how to do transitions and stuff like that, that's what you really want to start off on. If you don't have a Mac, there's a bunch of options. Like if you have something else, there's Filmora, there's OpenShot. You can edit on your phone and InShot. I edit on InShot all the time, especially for my Instagram stories. I use InShot because it's easy for me to edit vertical videos for my Instagram stories and for my TikTok videos. And again, there's also DaVinci Resolve. But going back to the point of people being stuck on which software to use, the only solution here really is just to pick one software. It doesn't matter what it is. Look at the reviews for it first if you really want to, and then kind of pick it, download it, and then kind of use it. Use it to kind of like the death of it. Like use it to do all the cuts, explore all the features, all the transitions that you want, and really decide for yourself if this is the software for you. Everybody is going to have their favorite software, and there's going to be a lot of people that use Adobe Premiere Pro, but you could get by with just the free editing software. It really depends on what type of videos you're making. The only way to get around this is really just explore one software for a certain period of time. Explore it. If you don't like it, dip, and then hop onto a new software. Once you get to that second software, hop on it for like 1 or 2 months as well. And then now you have 2 softwares that you're kind of familiar with, and you get to figure out which one's better for you. And the cool thing about learning the skills and the fundamentals in one software is that most of the time, the skills of learning it in one software is transferable to editing it into another software. It will stick to you for the long run. So in the end of the day, don't stay stuck in trying to figure out which software is the best for you. Just pick one and go all in with it. Alright, so now that you know my 5 mindset mistakes that a lot of beginning video editors make and how to use these mistakes and avoid them and treat them as lessons going forward, hit the notification bell below, because in next week's video, I'm going to be talking about how to batch your video editing process and kind of going step by step on kind of like how to batch everything in order to maintain a consistent schedule and hit your deadlines. So if you're into that and you really want to put your video editing game to the next level and stay consistent, hit your deadlines and all that stuff, make sure again to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell down below. And then one final thing before we end the video, go ahead and go into the comment section below and tell me your story on what made you want to start editing videos. What made you want to create YouTube videos, whether it's for YouTube actually, or whether you want to make videos for anywhere else, any other social platform, or even just for fun. Tell me why you started. Tell me your why. So as always, I hope you learned something from this video, and that's all I have for you this week, the very first video of January, and I will see you I will see you next Monday.